It's day 68 of 100 Days of Making Comics. Still worse for wear, still in bed. Had my breakfast, caught up with the other members of the V100s, the little group who are spending half an hour a day each day to work on their personal comic book projects as inspired by Kevin Cross. That's what we call ourselves, the V100s. So I've been checking in with Josh Campbell and Case Comics, and oh, I've already seen this one. And it is time for Mr. Murray, and it is time for, I think Robert Johnson is on day 100 today, isn't he? Oh, dude, well done. I still have to watch your day 99 though, if you're watching this one. And Gazbot is putting out videos every single day of his Horror A4 production report, which is very exciting because it is freaking awesome. The other day he had an episode, I think it's a couple of videos ago already, I forgot to comment, in which he was talking about his comic book being like having a lot of text, a lot of balloons, and working on that. And I love how verbose his comics are. Like, I really dig that. I think it's really awesome. And mine is definitely very wordy on this page, and I just thought of another line of dialogue I'm gonna cram in there, see if I can get away with it. So yes, back to the comic book. What happened? I think that's a dad singing the Imperial March outside on the street. More proof nerd culture has completely taken over. Makes me glad. You know, it makes me think of being poked fun of, being made fun of when I was a kid, reading my little Spider-Man comics, even though everyone was reading them. And then all these decades later, everyone is wearing a superhero t-shirt out on the streets, and everyone is excited for Infinity War next week. All right. I'm very excited. I'm trying to stay away from all the TV spots. Like, they're really gearing up their marketing efforts, of course. So I'm trying to stay away. Like, you know, they've got me hook, line, and sinker. I don't need to see anymore. But it's really hard because I'm craving every little snippet. The same with the Han Solo movie and the Deadpool movie. And like, this is going to be such a cool month. If these are the kinds of films you're into, it's going to be freaking awesome. Oh, Jesus. I feel like my brain is about to leak out. What little I have left. So one thing I've definitely been taking advantage of today a lot more, because usually I tend not to touch my preferences, but you know, the keyboard is a little further away and I don't feel like moving over the whole time, is I've been moving over a lot more functions to the pop-up menu you see here. So I've got the tools I use most for this workflow right here, which is putting the balloons in. It's a bit tedious. I am totally bored right now because it is like 10 o'clock at night and I've done about 6 pages. Could probably do that faster, but you know, a bit under the weather. And also, I'm completely bored right now. But I'm still very, very happy that I managed to get 6 done, and that means there's about 6 left for tomorrow. So on this page, I also added another layer for a little bit of color, just to separate figures out a little bit more. And I quite like the sepia tone, but all of a sudden I felt like this is just more clear for me later on. I used to have this thought that, you know, being sick is mostly psychological, and it's kind of a way of your subconscious trying to put the brakes on you and forcing you to reassess your life and what you're doing. But right now, I wish I was just outside because it's beautiful. But instead, it just makes for boring videos complaining. So this is one of the pages I've been working on. I've gotten into this workflow before. The last couple of pages of just copy and pasting the balloons and just changing things up a little bit, warp, free transform. But now I've made a layer of all these new kinds of balloons, and I just drop them in, and instead of using those very balloons, I just select them and I copy to another layer, and then I use that layer. It makes perfect sense, but it took me a while to get into the swing of things like this. Ah, Josh is sick too. Must be a The100th thing. Anyway, you guys, enough with the boring you to tears with me being bored, feeling sorry for myself, listening to the Spanish conversation going on outside right here in Barcelona, Spain. It's time to call this video quits. Like I said earlier, I did 6 pages. That's still pretty good for a rotten day. But yeah, I just thought of something to say, and it just